So when it comes to somebody coming into my office, what would an example of a cancer protocol look like? Well, first I would utilize the technique, it's called ART, or autonomic response testing. And the beauty with that technique is that you can then start to look at what is the underlying factor. I mean, is it a viral infection? Are we dealing with some fungal issues? Are we dealing with heavy metal toxicity, chemicals? What organ do we need to support? What do we need to do? What are we looking at? I mean, obviously the person is dealing with cancer, whether it's the pancreas or colon or lungs or whatever it may be, but it's never, what's important to understand with cancer is that it's never an isolated area. It's always a systemic issue, so you have to look upon the body as a whole. And that is the beauty then when you're dealing with using something like ART, autonomic response testing, which is a muscle testing technique where you can then communicate directly with the body and then investigate these things and then support the body in resolving these issues to allow the body then to more effectively deal with cancer. Another component that is crucial that I would pretty much every person saying that they are dealing with cancer, this is something that they should definitely do, and that is getting vitamin C intravenously. Vitamin C intravenously can actually stabilize the majority of cancer cases, arresting the growth and also the spread of the tumors. Even people with advanced cancer cases sometimes see miracle recoveries using IV vitamin C. It acts by producing something called hydrogen peroxide in cancer cells, making that oxidative stress which forces the cancer cells into apoptosis, which means that they die off and are recycled. This is also how chemo drugs and radiation kill cancer. However, current thinking kind of de-emphasizes this cytotoxic oxidative effect as it is acting then via a variety of different other subtle mechanisms also over and above that. Vitamin C can also vastly improve quality of life by increasing things like appetite, also raising the platelet counts and then easing fatigue and reducing pains. I mean, these are huge things when a person is dealing with cancer or they're elderly or dealing with any kind of chronic thing. So over and above the chemotherapeutic effect, it does all these other things also at the same time. IV vitamin C is a very supportive thing to do during chemotherapy. It improves the drug uptake and also reduces the resistance to the chemotherapeutic agent. So you have that old thinking that while you're on chemotherapy, you shouldn't do anything like vitamin C. And that is not true. It actually enhances the effect of the chemotherapy and at the same time that protects the body from the negative effect of the chemotherapy. So it's a win-win. And like chemo, as I mentioned, it is a pro-oxidative therapy, so which means that it works on killing the cancer cells. Then you have another thing is curcumin. And curcumin is derived from the yellow curry spice, the turmeric root. And I use a product in my office right here. And this is something that's called Boswellia complex, and it has a powerful concentrated form of curcumin along with some other supportive herbs like Boswellia, ginger, and celery that actually enhances the effect. And all of them work on reducing inflammation. All of them have a very protective impact against cancer. And what's interesting with curcumin is that it actually, you have all these chemotherapeutic drugs that are being researched and that's turning off these different inflammatory factors that promote cancer, the proliferation of cancer. And curcumin actually does all of that. And these drugs that they're researching, they're only able to turn off maybe this inflammatory factor and that inflammatory factor. But what's interesting with cancer is that even if you turn off those few anti-inflammatory factors, it will then activate this one over here and this one over here and maybe this one down here. And the curcumin, it helps to reduce and turn off the majority of all these anti-inflammatory factors. So here you have something natural, but the pharmaceutical companies, they are wanting to spend all this money, billions and billions of dollars, and to patent something that does less than something that we can easily get that's for not that much money. So with curcumin, it actually it impacts the body in a number of different ways and a number of different cancers. It induces apoptosis. Again, that is the killing off of the cancer cells, and it's a highly chemoprotectant, blocks tumor induction by different chemical carcinogens that we're then exposed to, inhibits cancer initiation, and also the promotion and progression of cancer. It is also a very powerful antioxidant against a number of different free radicals, reduces inflammation and pain. It also inhibits actually that spontaneous DNA damage from lipid peroxidation and produces the activity then, that produces activity of the tumor necrosis factor, both alpha and also the basic fibroblast, growth factor, and also significantly inhibits angiogenesis, as well as the number and volume of tumors. So it is a truly powerful, powerful tool. It inhibits the spread of cancer and invasiveness by blocking something called MMP2 and MMP4, which are the matrix metalloproteinase, and it also reverses liver damage from things like fungal aflatoxins and also different mutagens like if you're a tobacco smoker. Then another powerful, powerful tool is this one right here, EGCG, and that is actually an unfermented green tea leaf, and it's a powerful source of antioxidants that is about 200 times more powerful than vitamin E. And to be able to reach a therapeutic dose that we need when you're dealing with something as severe as cancer, it's given in a very concentrated form that would be quite impossible to be achieved through just regular tea consumption. Some of the benefits of green tea as a kind of inhibition of cancer is then by blocking certain cell functions and regulations of specific gene proteins that drive cancer process. It also induces the apoptosis that we've been talking about in cancer cells and inhibits oncogene expression. Oncogene is a cancer gene, and also reduces the expression of that multi-drug resistant gene that exists within the cancer. So the benefits of this green tea while battling cancers are just way too many to all be mentioned. I mean, it's just a list of things that it does in preventing the body when you're dealing with cancer, and also supporting it when you're fighting cancer. We'll be right back with just a little bit more about the different things that you can use to fight cancer.